Unstable.
This whole system is deeply flawed, and that's why I talk a lot about free markets and property rights, Austrian economics, and getting rid of the Fed. All these things are now up for grabs. A lot of people, especially the young people, are looking at this. So for this reason, I'm a bit encouraged by, what might come out of this. But I think we're going to go through the ringer. I think it's going to get much, much worse, and it's bad enough already. But there's no way that we can step back. The one thing I'm convinced of after having spent so much time in Washington is that this will not be a gradual recovery from this disaster that we have. We're not going to elect enough people and enough courage to vote the right way, and there's too much demagoguing and too much misunderstanding that people would revolt. But the collapse will come. It's going to hit the dollar, and then we're going to have our opportunity. So the more people who are protected intellectually as well as financially, the better off we'll be in rebuilding what we'll have, what we'll need to do in the near future.
Buckle your seatbelt. It's time for another episode of the Prepper Recon Podcast. Whether your plan is to bug out or bug in, CampingSurvival.com has all of your preparedness needs, including fish antibiotics, long-term storage food, water filters, bug-out bags, and first aid kits. Use coupon code PrepperRecon for 5% off your entire order at CampingSurvival.com. While you're at PrepperRecon.com, stop by the Prepper Recon supply store. We've got a great selection of Molly compression packs, hydration kits, and our new concealed carry tactical slings. All the packs and slings come with your choice of patch to let liberals know how you feel. We have some very cool Moulin Labe patches, Come and Take It patches, Sheepdog, Zombie Response Team, and matching U.S. flag patches. Of course, we still have our fully stocked Molly-compatible individual first aid kits as well. Just click the Store tab at the top of the PrepperRecon.com homepage. Today's guest is Kyle Starkey of RationalSurvivor.com. Everybody knows that I'm a podcast junkie, and I've just found a new show to add to the list. Kyle's Rational Survivor podcast has great content, very good sound quality, and he really has the perfect voice for podcasting. And I'm bragging on the sound quality, but Kyle and I have been going back and forth for 2 days now, trying to get a good connection to do this interview, and Skype's been very uncooperative, and so we're trying this one on Google Hangout, which isn't the highest quality either. But sometimes you just got to go with what you can, right, Kyle?
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate what you the shout out, because I've been listening to you for quite some time, and even before I started getting into podcasting. And it seems to be Skype is our worst enemy right now.
It's either Skype or...
Yeah, I do try to put out a good quality show.
It's either Skype or it's the NSA trying to discourage us is probably what it is.
Quality, I think. They're getting a little upset at us.
Yeah, I'd say so. But that's good. And as I always say, it's great. The more people we can get out that are having their own podcasts, having their own blogs, the merrier, because then the government, when they get ready, they can't just shut us all down, because if they shut down 2 or 3 people, that can kind of go without being noticed. But if they shut down 1,000 people, then that's going to set off some alarms to the general public saying, hey, why are they shutting these guys down? So I never see it as a competition. I always see it as another soldier on the battlefield standing next to me. So it's great to have you, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's greatly appreciated. Yeah, I see a lot of filtering too lately in my social media. And did you see that one? This is a little off topic before we get into the Ebola, but did you see that one topic where Facebook was showing that they could change the mood of people's by changing their feed on Facebook?
Yeah,
to make it more depressed?
I did see that.
Yeah, man, that's just crazy that they would even toy like that. That's such a So it's kind of but anyway.
Yeah. While we're on that subject, I completely dropped off of Facebook altogether. There is a Patriot owned and operated site that looks very similar to Facebook, and it's called PatriotFB.com. And if you go to Prepper Recon and you click the Facebook icon on PrepperRecon.com, you actually get taken to PatriotFB.com, because I don't even mess with Facebook at all, because I had like 4,700 friends, and they told me that I wasn't a person and converted me into a fan
Might have
page.
lost you.
So maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not a person. But anyway, your last show, you went into a lot of detail about Ebola, and I thought it was such great information that I wanted to get you on Prepper Recon to talk about that. What has you concerned about Ebola?
Well, one of my big concerns is the no cure and the lack of knowledge that is given out from people. We're really we're kind of left in the dark, and even today I was trying to make sure my numbers are up to date since we've been going back and forth. I had to go back on Google and search. Oh, you still there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, sorry. But I had to go back and forth with Google searches and it's hard to find the facts on that, and that's really got me concerned on where this is at and what's going on. The numbers that have coming out are increasing every day, which are a lot higher than I would expect from all the other outbreaks that we had, and we're having a hard time controlling this one. So that's where my big concerns come from, and that's kind of where a lot of my investigation comes from. And then my side where I start putting more and more time into investigating it is because I can't get the answers I want, and that just throws up a red flag for me to spend a little bit more time searching. So that's where.
And we've got 2 people that have been infected that have been taken to quarantine rooms in the hospital in Atlanta. Is that right? Is it still 2?
Yeah. So right now, this morning, the 2 in Atlanta they got a treatment it's called ZMAP, and I hope the MAP is the company, MAPP. And I hope Z doesn't stand for zombie. But I was like, ZMAP is this unknown cure. It's a test, and the World Health Organization has been kind of going back and forth with this company if this is a ethical treatment or not. And so supposedly the 2 in Atlanta are getting a little bit better. There was a priest in Spain, Madrid, that has died that also received the medicine. And so it's not a cure. It's not doing its job. Maybe it was too late now. And so that's the only other case that has made it outside of Africa that I know of right now. So it's all hit or miss. There might be some other things out there that I haven't seen. There's a lot of propaganda and tinfoil hat sayers, but from the hard evidence, those are the 2 places that I've seen is Atlanta, Georgia, and Spain.
Now, what we're being told in the media is that it can't be passed through air, that it has to be person-to-person contact. But as your research, does it confirm or deny that notion?
Ooh, this is a tricky question because Ebola is always transforming in its way. This virus is closest to the 1976 virus, and it goes into a lot of technical jargon. And I'm by no means a medical expert, but so it is transforming. Right now, I have to say it's not airborne. From what I've seen, you're hit or miss with these sources that you're seeing. Some are saying it is airborne, some are saying it's not. As of right now, I don't think it is. But some of the bigger concerns that I see is that there was a time where they were testing Ebola on monkeys, and an entire facility got infected. There was no contact between these monkeys in different rooms except for ventilation, and the government just came in and killed like 430 monkeys or something. It was they just had to put them all down because they didn't know how the Ebola was spreading. Now this could mean anything. It could mean that one of the workers in there was giving them treats and they let cross contamination somehow. But as of right now, I don't think it's airborne. A big scare is over 100 workers have been infected in Africa. Like the people that have been there to help are and they're usually in protection suits and they don't know how they're getting infected. The medical care there isn't as high as standards and enforced as well as it is here in the States or Europe, but they are still getting infected, and it is affair. Like, these people know that it's a deadly disease, so I would think they're taking the precautions to make sure they stay alive. But again, 100 people have been infected that are the front nurses and doctors that are supposed to be well protected from this.
It's time for a quick break, and we'll be right back. The dollar's lost over 90% of its purchasing power since 1971. Silver, on the other hand, has proved to be a very stable form of wealth preservation over the years. And where do you buy silver? Silver.com, of course. Silver.com offers fantastic prices on silver and gold. Check out Silver.com today. And what's the total amount of people that have been infected so far? Do you have those numbers?
Yes, I can. So again, this morning. So yesterday, I'll go over yesterday's number and then I'll update so far. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Can you? Okay. So there, right now, as of yesterday, it was 1,134 confirmed, 1,779 suspected, and that puts us at. And then the total death rate as of yesterday was 961 death rate. So meaning, in a more logical standpoint of everyone hears that 90% infection rate. Right now, that puts us at confirmed 54% death rate, and non-confirmed is at an 85% death rate. So people are taking the worst number, closer to 90%, saying that's the death rate. So today, I was looking again, and this is a new article by CNN. I want to say CNN. It was published this morning that we're at 1,013 deaths, and out of suspected 1,848 deaths. So in one day we've jumped 50 deaths. That's a big number. So it's starting to really take a toll on people out there.
Now, one of the things that sort of prevented the AIDS virus from being worse than what it actually was the fact that it doesn't survive very long outside of the host. How does that compare with Ebola?
This is the scary part. This is another big. You just gave me chills because I kind of forgot about this. So AIDS lasts a matter of minutes. It dies off and on a surface. The flu virus can last like a full couple hours, few days. So going to the grocery store, if you grabbed a shopping cart from the person before you were sick, or the person that you're checking out with coughs on your food, and then you grab that food as you're checking out, like on the way out, that can get you sick. But what scares me about Ebola is it has I've seen anywhere, so these are all online sources, I've seen anywhere from 3 to 10 days of surface area before it starts breaking down in sunlight, and that's not very well tested. It's not very well known how long it does have a lifespan on, but it's in the matter of days, weeks. Or in the matter of week, like you can use the term week for how long it lives on a surface, and that's the terrifying part. That's because that virus can be spread. A door handle, going to the movie theater, going grocery shopping. Those are things that it could be there for days before people even see it.
Wow, I don't think I'm leaving my house.
Right. Well, I do have some good ideas for when that would probably be the best here. But we can get into that in a minute. I'm not to that point yet. I'm almost to the point of being that TV show Monk, where he's like afraid of the wind. I'm almost there, but I'm not yet.
Yeah, it's about time to start stocking it. Now, does hand sanitizer, alcohol, which kills most bacteria and viruses, does that seem to kill Ebola?
From what I understand, yes. Now, I have seen the antibacterial soap. I guess Patriot Nurse put out a video saying that doesn't matter because it's not a bacteria, it's a virus. So just good sanitation, good cleaning surface. I actually been using Lysol now on everything in the house, just doing a little bit more detailing in the house, a little bit cleaner surface areas, whatnot. Now, as far as I can tell, that stuff does make a difference.
And then what about the flights coming out of Africa? Is there any screening before people get on a plane from Africa? Let's say they're coming out of Sierra Leone or somewhere that's known to have multiple infections.
No. So what I have seen is certain places are shutting down. The Philippines are not sending workers there anymore, or having flights in and out from Africa in general. Almost. There's a few other places that are shutting down the airport, just stopping flights to prevent this spreading. But there's no real. They they have stations set up. They're looking for people that are showing symptoms to maybe have an early quarantine. But the metal detectors don't detect viruses, and it's really, if it takes 20 up to 21 days to show signs of symptoms. So you can be carrying this around. In a matter of 3 days, I could be back from Africa, gone through my jet lag, and going to the grocery store and hung out with friends. And this is a 21-day before you can see symptoms. So these early stops in airports are only going to do so much. One of the things I have noticed, though, is flights leaving Africa. I have a chart here of where those flights are going. So and it's specific to Guinea, Libya, oh my goodness, sorry, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Those flights are mostly sticking to going to other places in Africa, which we have seen 13 cases in Nigeria right now. So that's a place that flights have been going. Europe, and then we have the Eastern Mediterranean, Canada, U.S., and then the rest of the Americas, Western Pacific, and Southeast Asia. But most of those are such a small percentage of flights leaving there. The next place I would suspect to see cases is in an outbreak is Europe, and that's at 29% of flights from those areas go to Europe. And, so that's why right now I have a Google alert set up to show me if any flights are coming from or if any outbreaks happen in Europe. So that's why I got alerted about that priest in Spain that died. But he was under quarantine before he got to Spain, so I'm not too worried about that. Kind of like the guys that came to Atlanta.
And then
if that's a lot of information there to take in, let me know.
No, it's good. It's good. It's very thorough, and that's why I wanted to get you on the show, because I thought your show was so thorough on the subject. Now, what are the early symptoms?
It's basically a simple cold. That's the scary. One of the reasons I did such an in-depth analysis on this is because I got sick to myself, and I was stuck in. It was basically like a 24-hour sickness. I was just stuck to my bed, and it was everything. One of the things that you can see is unexplained bleeding from the eyes. Your eyes will turn bloodshot almost, and you'll have blood in throw up or from your eyes or from other areas coming from your body. That would be a key sign, but it's not needed to be seen in Ebola to know that you're infected. You're not by not having that symptom, it's not a for sure way to know that you don't have Ebola. But anything from sore joints to lack of appetite, stomach pain, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, fever, just basic cold stuff. That's what Ebola does before, and then it's too late. So and then once it goes past that, it's pretty much done.
And then you said that you sort of have put together a self-quarantine plan. Now, what would cause you to enact that plan, first of all, and then what is your plan?
So this is, I'm very loose about this, and probably right now you should just be, if you wanted to make sure 100% chance that you're not going to get infected, it's quarantine time. You stay home, you don't do nothing. But since most of us have jobs and most of us aren't really that worried about it right now, we can't just go in lockdown mode like this. So one of my things is I've been watching for outbreak in Europe. And that's when I stopped going out to the movies. I stopped going out to eat and having a few beers with my buddies at a local brewery. That's kind of when I cut back on those, is when I start seeing outbreak in Europe, because once it's in Europe, you're pretty much going to say it's going to start coming over to the U.S. You're going to start seeing that happen. And I live in Denver. There's an international airport, so it's very easy for people to start coming in this area. Maybe if you're in a small town in Kansas, or I can be, Jericho, like the movie, that small town scenario.
Favorite show. That's my favorite show.
Oh, I've probably watched that 3 times. I don't. It's kind of embarrassing. It's like it's like a little kid watching SpongeBob for, I put that on. I'm like, woo, here we go.
Yeah.
So, but so one of the things is that's my first thing. Is once I start seeing an outbreak in Europe, that puts a trigger that it might be time to start cutting back the social aspects of life a little bit. And then once I start seeing cases in in the state, in one of the major cities with airports, then that's when it goes in like heavy effect. Like I'm not going out. I'm going to do my job, come home. I'm going to start become that germaphobe. And then if it gets any worse than that, I would say it's almost quarantine time to make sure you get through this time. If that's not, I hope that's not tinfoil hat sounding. Some of the cities that the CDC has already put out in quarantine stations are it's mostly the surrounding coastal big cities. So Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, then like Houston, Miami, Atlanta, and then all the way up the coast to New York, Boston, Washington, D.C. When all have big airports, and once those start getting infected, the more than likely those are going to be easily transmitted to other areas. I try not to sound like a tinfoil hat person, but that's kind of when I'd start cutting back a little bit bigger at that point.
Very cool. And what are some things that people could do now just to sort of boost their immune system and make it less likely that they're going to get infected if an outbreak does occur?
And I've been going through this. I've set up my own part. Have you seen the Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead documentary? This is a little off topic, but it's a good documentary, and it makes you want to be healthier.
Yeah, well, I think it's on topic, and I think it's very on topic for any prepper or survivalist podcast or blog, because obesity and cancer, that's the two big killers. It's not really the zombie apocalypse. It's not really economic collapse. Those are the two big killers in America.
Right, and I'm going to quote. I don't know if you know who Tony Robbins is. He's a motivational speaker, but he's one of my favorite quotes of his is, "The way you treat your body is the way you treat your life." So the better, garbage in, garbage out. The better you treat your body now it's going to reflect in your daily life, and that's just a powerful quote for me. So, but juicing it boosts your immunity. It cleans out. It's almost over vitamin. Right now in America, we have an obesity problem and a vitamin deficiency problem, which is, almost, it should be, opposite. Those two should not go together at all. So, taking a multivitamin now to make sure your body has an adequate supply of vitamins, you might be passing out. You might be taking, let's say 1,000% of your vitamin C, but your body's going to absorb as much as it needs and pass it through the system. And your body might need more during times of sickness. So, what complements the vitamin C, making sure you're taking the vitamin D, making sure that all those things are letting your body. And overjuicing, I've been doing. There's a brand that competes with Naked Juice, and it's I couldn't even tell you. It's something farm, House Farm. It's basically a competitor to Naked Juice, and I'll drink one of those a day. They have protein. It's just I'm making sure my body's ready to fight whatever symptoms what comes in, whatever virus I would get, including just the H1N1, all that stuff. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to bring up is the CDC did just go to the highest level alert, level 1, on this Ebola outbreak, and this is in the United States. But the last time it did it was for the H1N1 flu virus, and that was kind of just a whole it was. I think that one was blown out of proportion. I was pretty terrified for it, but at that time. But as we saw, it kind of fizzled out. The H1N1 scared people because it was killing the healthy, but very few accounts. And now the CDC is thinking that. It means a little bit, but it doesn't mean a lot. And so that's just something else I was looking at. I've also, and going back to the topic of overnutrition, giving your body the vitamins and nutrition that it needs now. I've also been doing garlic, ginger, cinnamon, and honey. Not together. That sounds terrible. That probably would not taste good at all. But I've been increasing those because those have natural antibiotic.
Honey garlic chicken wings taste good together.
Oh, what's that?
Honey garlic chicken wings taste good together. That's
man,
one place that honey and garlic goes great together.
Yeah. Oh, and and I've also ginger. I'm a sushi fanatic, and I will eat an entire bowl of ginger. I'll put that down too. So I've been increasing my consumption of those healthy things to keep my body up to peak performance. And then also this might go out there a little bit. I'm not associated with this company, but it's a supplement that is mushrooms. Now mushrooms have a lot of fungal benefits that I'm way above my knowledge level. But there's this company called Onnit, ONNIT, and I take their Alpha Brain, which I saw my grandpa go through Alzheimer's, and that was a sad time. So I take something to make sure my brain's sharp. They also came out with this supplement called Shroom Tech that is a mixture of mushrooms, all natural stuff, and it's supposed to increase your body's ability to fight infections by way more knowledge than I know, but it's supposed to increase your body's ability to fight infections and or just help and boost your immunity. And I ordered some of that as well. That might be a stretch. I don't know. I can't put my weight behind it to say that it absolutely works. But that's just one more thing that I'm doing. I want to take all the precautions I can to fight Ebola, and that's just one thing. That's one extra thing that's not a big. It might not have a big benefit, but if I have a chance, I'm going to take it. You know, if it gives me a little bit more chance, I'm going to take it. So.
And then things that everybody can do is just always drink plenty of water so that your body can naturally flush itself well. Exercise. Naturally detoxes your body by sweating while you're exercising, and also after you recover from that, your body's stronger and you have a heightened immune system, and making sure you get plenty of sleep, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Those last two have been been trying to work most of my system, but it's do the best you can to get the rest. They're actually been showing benefits on your body being able to produce testosterone by getting adequate sleep. If you're and that helps that boosts your whole body to function correctly. So if you're getting 5 hours of sleep compared to what recommended 8, it makes a huge difference. I think what's his name, the famous basketball player, the new Michael Jordan, whatever his name is,
LeBron James, yeah.
Yeah, LeBron James. I heard he sleeps like 11 hours a night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it that definitely boosts your immune system. And this just goes back to proper taking care of your body now. So when something comes up like this, it's at its peak performance to fight off infections.
Wow, very cool. Now, how often do you post new podcasts and blog posts?
I try to do a Monday through Friday. This isn't my full-time gig. I do love doing this, and there's meeting people like you and Southern Prepper One, who was on yesterday or day before. Were just that's the benefit for me. I really enjoy meeting you guys. Another like James from Survival Punk, and I've met a lot of cool people through this, and I try to post on a weekly or a daily basis, Monday through Friday. I try to put out a couple of weekend fun podcasts. But again, I have to find a source of income, so I haven't been able to do this full time yet. So I try to keep as many as I can. But yeah, it's definitely a fun thing for me.
Very cool. Well, follow your passion and just keep doing it, and the money will follow. It's one of those things. It's like planting a garden. You don't plant a tomato seed and eat tomatoes the next day. It's you plant the seed, and then you keep the garden clean and weed it, keep it watered. Make sure the bugs don't get on the plant, and then months later you start eating the tomatoes. And it's the same thing with following your passion. You just keep at it, and eventually you'll find a way to monetize it, and it'll start paying off.
Yeah, and that's I definitely right now I'm focused on building the following of Rational Survivor. I have gotten a ton of good comments back. I've been doing a promotion, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. You had some contests and stuff. Are you still have any more of those going?
Until episode 75. Right now I'm on today's 68, and that one's going to be on why America's number one. And it's a little parody on how it's not anymore. So that's going to be my show today. It's basically talking about all the things that were number one and that aren't really good. But until episode 75, I'm running a 5-ounce of silver giveaway. I started this promotion on episode 55 because I was very excited to, like, holy cow, I made it to episode 55. What can I do to give back to people and to the community? So 5 ounces of silver, do 5 things. It's simple social media promotion. You like me on Facebook. I might have to switch over to that Patriot, that FB Patriot website that you mentioned earlier. But do simple things, whatever social media poison of choice that you have. Let me know. I'll promote me on there. Let people know that I'm around, and subscribe to my email list. And boom, you're entered to win 5 ounces of silver, which I think is just one of those fundamental things that every prepper should have.
Oh, absolutely. I think that silver and gold. I always go back to that it's always been money. It goes all the way back to Genesis 13:2 says that Abraham was wealthy in cattle and silver and gold. So he's kind of got commodities and then that bimetal monetary system that was really the first form of wealth preservation. So there's absolutely no mention of the U.S. dollar in the Bible. So because actually it's only been around since 1971 in its complete total fiat form. And fiat currencies, you don't hear much about them because they don't stick around long. But gold and silver, they've always been money, and every culture throughout time and every empire has at some point used gold and silver as their money. And usually when they started I think the Greeks were one of the first to start debasing their gold coins with. I think they used bronze because that was the Bronze Age, and the Greeks debased their currency with bronze, and that was sort of one of the signals that to the end of their empire. And then the Romans they debased their gold and silver coinage with iron because that was the Iron Age, and they had plenty of iron, and that was a big signal to the end of the Roman rule of the world. And I think that all of the fiat currencies that now we're on a global fiat currency because the dollar is still supposedly the reserve currency, but then you've got the euro and everything else is completely fiat. So it's very likely that it could fall like a stack of dominoes, and just one could fall and sort of take them all down.
Yeah, and it's funny how history repeats itself, and no one even it seems like we're on the same track. And I mean, it'd be shocking to me to see the dollar even last 100 years compared to the gold and silver lasting thousands and thousands of years. So and this is I don't know about you, but when so I started prepping. Oh goodness, I think my first. Someone turned me on to James Rawls' book, The Patriot, I think a long time ago. And this was in like '08. And I started prepping, and it took me probably 3 years before I bought my first ounce of silver. And one of the other things about this promotion was just like, I want to get people into it because, I mean, it's not as hard as it seems. I just kept putting it off, and then all of a sudden one day I was like, you know what? Today's the day I order some silver. And I want to like get other people making sure they're securing their wealth as well in my community, or in the survival community.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sometimes people don't get the silver and the gold first because there are other priorities. If you don't have between now and the time that the dollar blows up, the dollar's what we're taking, and that's what's paying the bill. So I think it's a good idea to have a 6-month cushion of cash. Not necessarily in a bank account, but somewhere, a cushion of cash, so that if you lose your job or whatever, you get sick or you break a leg or whatever happens to come along in your life to disrupt your ability to earn money, you've got that little cushion, so that you can it gives you time to sort of come up with another plan and or get through whatever the crisis happens to be. And then the obvious, the beans, the bullets, and the Band-Aid. I think that gold and silver are gonna, in the long run, have been a good form of wealth preservation when we come out the other side. Hopefully we don't go through another dark age where, from the fall of Rome till the Renaissance, it was just basically just 3 levels above complete chaos and cannibalism. Hopefully we don't go through that again. But
have you seen the Las Vegas is almost caught up from water source. If it drops another 7%, they're out of potable water.
Yeah, we've done a lot of really, really smart things in America, building huge cities in the middle of the desert where there's no water, and millions of people that are dependent on water for their very survival, and built cities that are in hurricane zones that are actually below sea level. And there's just we've just made tons of just ingenious decisions in this country. So that's another one for sure.
Yeah, that's so fun. There and what the oh man, I was gonna make a point of that, but I forgot. I was looking at I might be joining you in the wonderful state of Florida here in a minute though. So we'll definitely have to stay in touch.
We'll come on down. We need one more person to help swing the vote to a more constitutional direction, because it's a purple state right now, which, neither one of the colors that make it purple are really good. So, the Republicans or the Democrats. So every freedom loving voter we can get down here will definitely help. So we welcome you. And the winters are nice, and outside of that, it's just a big sandbar.
Yeah, and it's we actually are and looking forward to that. One of the things I wanted to bring up though before the next election happens, just to your listeners and to me, is I'm starting to see a lot of filtering on the social medias, what's returning in it's called the SERPs, the search engine ranking page, or the what comes back to you when you search something in Google.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of filters, and I know I don't mean to go off on my own little soapbox here, but Hillary is getting a lot of positive promotion right now, and she said some very corporate evil stuff that corporations are people. She's come out with that. She's come out something else about being very pro-war. She's the one on the Obama administration right now, pushing very hard for them to go out, and she's sold her soul in the political world to be very strong in the political world. And I just caution people in this next election, because everything's getting filtered now. So do your homework.
Yeah, absolutely. And Google stands to come out ahead in the police state of tomorrow, because they have the turnkey infrastructure to institute a Big Brother type totalitarian state.
Yeah, and it's scary, and I don't mean to point that out. I think our Wild West of internet is coming closer and closer to an end. As much as enjoyable as it's been. So that until then, we're going to keep podcasting strong, though, I hope, right?
Absolutely. And we're going to have links to the Rational Survivor in today's show notes. But can you tell the folks your web address and where they can connect with you?
Yeah, definitely. Right now, RationalSurvivor.com is the best place. If you guys subscribe to my podcast and want to comment or do anything like that, just do it on the actual show's article. And my other social media poison of choice is Pinterest. It's a lot of do-it-yourself. I know it was very feminine for a while, but there's a lot of do-it-yourself projects on there for preppers and gardening. And that's my other social media poison of choice. And all that can be found on RationalSurvivor.com.
And lots of pictures on Pinterest.
Oh, yeah. It's addicting, I have to say.
Kyle, thanks again for coming on the show.
Yeah, definitely. I really appreciate coming on. You are, I've been listening to you for a while, and just what an honor it is. I made it to the show. I feel like I'm making it now,
All right.
It's very nice to be on here.
Detroit high-priority 911 calls average 58 minutes for a response. How much longer will it be until budget cuts, natural disaster, or a total collapse make you responsible for your own security? The new book, Retreat Security and Small Unit Tactics by David Kobler and Mark Goodwin, will teach you how to organize your team or neighborhood into a force to be reckoned with. You'll get tips to harden your home and protect your family, life, and property, both now and after the stuff hits the fan. Retreat Security and Small Unit Tactics is available in paperback, Kindle, and audio editions. Buy it from Amazon.com before it's too late.